Welcome to Yo Soy Neighborhoods Fresno. Hi, my name's Edna Collins. I'm your host today, and today's March, dare I say that, 13th. My goodness, we're already in the third month. I can't believe this, of 2020. My wonderful host, Smiley Calderon, is right here by me, and what's been going on this week?
A whole lot of different things.
Well, share what you can.
Oh, well, we have a global pandemic called the coronavirus, seeming to scare the hell out of everybody. Excuse my French, but it's scary times right now.
Right.
In Fresno.
Yeah, we have a little UNICEF information on that.
Oh, good.
And also we have some information about some census people that are impersonating, going door to door, and what they're doing is knocking on the doors and asking people to check their IDs, to be sure they have IDs. And in essence, what they're doing is casing the place to see if there's anything to rob, and then they come back later on and rob the place. Yeah, so we have a little bit on that.
So we have a guest today.
Yes.
And who's our guest today?
Yes, today we have a guest. They're putting together she's Mikki Addison, one of our panelists early last year. And she's not only written a book about childcare and how to discipline them, but she's also been busy. She's now the Democratic Party president. Right?
West Fresno.
Democratic.
West Fresno.
West
Congratulations.
Fresno. This is your fifth round, or?
Well, I had a little break for 1 year, and 10 years before that.
So
President.
what's your take on the recent election results for mayor?
Well, I'm glad I didn't work the polls, because I usually do, and it was a mess, I understand. They had a lot of thousands of signatures that didn't match. So I don't know how they went back and verified it. But you know, when people have a stroke or they get ill, your handwriting changes.
Yes, it does.
And so it has to match the card.
It's a good thing you mentioned that, because after I heard that they had 1,000 ballots that they pulled because of that problem, yes, they did. I went right to the office, matter of fact, and I said to the gal at the desk, I said, here's my ballot, but really, the system obviously is not set up properly. You're depending on signatures, and guess what? My signature is not the same as it was when I was a girl versus when I am now today. And she says, you need to have a handwriting analysis person on board to be able to actually determine that that is the correct signature. And she looks at me, and I'm like, well, it's honest to God truth. Why don't you ask, you got the detectives here, the PD, and ask them. I said, I think it would be much better if we had some identification of some sort. Maybe they need to make a voting card. If they don't want to see your ID, you could make up a voting card. Something like that.
But Mikki, I'm wondering, how did you feel about the results? We waited in Fresno for a week and a half, and everyone was trying to check, and we were waiting and waiting, some hopeful, more than others.
Yes.
And then just a couple days ago, we found out the latest news on the mayoral race. And why don't you tell everybody who will our new mayor be?
Well, my candidate didn't win, and that's a shame.
Yes.
But I would have asked for a recount, because it took too long, and you don't know if anything got lost. Or if a lot of things could have went wrong in a week and a half. And you have to wait that long to get the results. I might have asked for a recount if I was Jans.
Now, let me tell you, the mayoral race was a big thing, Edna. But
the biggest.
But what another big race that I think you also felt the same way was with Esmeralda Soria. She ran for Congress, and remember, she would have been the first woman ever in the Central Valley, ever to be a Congress person, a Congress member. And the first Latino. So the first Latino, the first woman, it's about time.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
It
And it
didn't
didn't
happen.
happen.
It didn't even go to a runoff.
Right.
No, and then I wish we could have seen a runoff if it was that close.
Yes.
I mean, he got 50, Dyer got 51.8, but I still think it should have been a runoff.
Sure.
For nothing else than to satisfy people that
Sure.
everything went right like it was supposed to.
Right, right.
It's-
No, it makes sense what you're saying. Right,
But
right.
we're not having it.
Well,
No.
this is International Women's Month. And so this is why I invited Mikki, and I invited a couple of the ladies there. They recently put together this Black Magic Woman
Black
event,
Magical Woman.
but
Yes.
and which was very, I think it was very incentivizing for all of the group of ladies and
When was this?
get them going.
This past, on February 29th, leap year, Adrienne Vibe, V-I-B-E, V as in Victor, Harris, has a magazine out called Black Magical Women. There were 29 awardees, and I was one of them.
Oh, congratulations.
It's a first edition, and I know he'll come out with next year. I'm not sure what happens in between. But so you can look forward to it for 2021. And the good part is that he featured each one of the women every day on Facebook.
Oh, that was
Really?
nice.
Yes.
That was nice.
Yes, each
Yeah.
woman got their day.
And it's very, very impressive. I mean, the ladies at the BOWAPA,
Yes.
say that, that's the acronym. Could you please tell everybody what BOWAPA?
How do you say? How you spell it?
BWOPA, Black Women of Political Action. One of the sponsors.
BOWAPA.
BOWAPA. Yes, I belong to BOWAPA.
You know,
also.
I speak Spanish, and guapa means a beautiful woman.
Oh,
So
yeah?
guapa with a G.
With a G and
so
ours with
I
a
don't know if that
B.
was a play on guapa, bawapa,
I'm not sure.
No,
It
like
is
a black
bit-
beautiful woman.
Right
Yeah, this
there,
is
that's a
Black
good
Women
point.
of Political Action. It's been around a long time. It has international, and we have a local chapter.
They're very impressive.
Mrs. Desi Woods is our international spokesperson, and Cynthia Sterling is the president. So they sponsored, they co-sponsored Black Magical Women. What I want to say is I'm on Facebook. It's on Facebook. If you go to my Facebook, my timeline, Mikki Addison.
How do you spell this, Mikki?
Mikki, M is in Mary, I-K-K-I, Addison, A-D is in David, D is in David, I-S-O-N. It's only 3 minutes. You'll get the gist of what the night was like, and it was so much fun at the Smugglers. Now the Smugglers is trying to make a comeback, I understand.
right.
And
Oh, that was nice.
Where's it at? Smugglers is on Blackstone, right?
Blackstone and Dakota.
That's right.
And the room was the Crystal Ballroom, and it was a packed audience, probably almost standing room.
That's great.
That's
Yes,
wonderful.
it was really nice. It was a wonderful evening.
Yeah, the groups that you belong to, though, the BOWAPA, the ladies, I have to say they have a lot of energy, and they are very forceful, they're ladies.
Well, the ladies all are involved in community activity.
Yes.
They have their own business. Every one of them had something that they were involved in, very much so. And you know, I could name a lot of names, but I don't want to leave anybody out.
Right.
But they have a lot of, they're very influenced. I mean, when I go there, I feel the energy. They want to get things done. That's the important thing.
That's really good.
You
for
know.
our
And we
community.
get to call ourselves a BMW, Black Magical Woman, for a whole year, 2020. I'm a Black Magical Woman.
There you go.
So I wish I had the BMW to go with the BMW.
Now, Mikki, is it Black Magical Woman or Black Magic Woman? Like
Magical, magical woman. Yes, and so too, please look up on me on my Facebook and my timeline, and you'll see Vibe, Adrienne Vibe Harris. That's how you can also find it. So I've been doing a lot. That was
Yeah.
one thing, and my magazine, my book is coming along. Right after I leave here, I was gonna go to the big red church.
Yeah.
They had an event.
Yeah, that's
What
a nice
happened?
place.
They canceled
Okay,
it.
why did they cancel the event?
Coronavirus.
They don't want crowds. Was it
Yeah.
over the limits? Not over
Oh,
200?
I don't know all the details because I didn't put it on, but I just found out today that I think postpone would be a better word than canceled.
They're going to have it
People are
another
concerned.
date.
Well, you know, the governor of California, he just a couple days ago, what did they say? They made an announcement saying, we say that any groups or activities over 250
Right.
people,
250.
they want to
Limit.
limit, cancel,
Yes.
postpone.
Yes. That's what they want. And it's probably a good idea because and also that stocking up. You know, get your supplies so that you don't have to run out for 2 weeks.
What's this deal with toilet paper being gone? Is that gonna? What?
Well, I think people reach for toilet paper first because in 2 weeks you don't want to run out on the first week. Well, I'll tell you what surprised me was people loading up on ammunition and guns. I don't know what that's about. We don't have a zombie apocalypse coming.
Yeah, but the people, some people go, their mind goes south, you know? It's kind of like
That's where my mind resides all the time. Okay, so I'm always in the gutter. But go ahead. Go over.
But they're thinking, I mean, there might be violence, and I'm hoping to God people don't get that tense. Because really, I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's sort of like the flu, but the problem is they don't have a handle on a cure. And generally our population, our people here, CDC, isn't it? They're very good at creating some type of serum or something.
It hasn't been enough time.
That's why they're so nervous. But they're getting people the scientists on there, and they're going to get cleared as soon as possible.
Well, I understand that people get scared, and when they get scared, they go get something to protect themselves.
Right.
But I doubt if anybody would be beating down their door to take their supplies. Hopefully not. So what you do is you get your 2 weeks or whatever you think you need, including your medication. You know, if your prescription is running out, you want to refill it.
Right. And try to be polite out there.
Oh, yes, none of this fighting, people fighting in the aisles of stores.
They're rude.
Well, they've had it before, and we don't want to see it again.
Right, no. There was a gal in front of me, I mean behind me, and it was like, well, I want service now so I can get out of here, and it's kind of like, calm down.
I think it's going to change America living for an indefinite amount of time. We're going to have to do things differently, as you already see. Right,
well, honestly, the college here, I'm not quite sure why they haven't been video conferencing. We were doing that at Cal State Fullerton in 2005. We do have quite a few satellite university spots with different disciplines, kind of 30 miles away from our center, from the center of the university. And we were doing that in communications class all the time. Our instructor, he was a worldwide instructor, and he resides now. He went to England, although he's an American citizen. He liked the English. But the bottom line is he was teaching 3 classes at once. So now today, when I went and bought sliced sandwich meat at the store, the gal, she's saying, oh my God, they're going to start doing that with us now. So it's going to be common, you're right.
From working from home.
And then the children, the school-age children, they're at home.
Disneyland's closing. Okay, people. I have a friend who works at Disneyland as a vendor. So he doesn't work for Disneyland. He's a vendor at Disneyland. And he said, contractor. He said, my company depends on this. If we close, because they do vending machines there. If we close, I'm out of a job, and we might even go out of business. My son called me today. It's Dad. He goes to college in Southern California. He goes, because of the coronavirus, I lost my job.
What?
Yeah. And
he lost his job because they're closing down. We have no hours. We can't have you work. And so then you have no hours indefinitely. You're going to see stores closing. We're going to see things. It's going to be impacting people who live day to day, paycheck by paycheck.
They're going to be in serious trouble.
I don't know if you've been following the news with all this coronavirus scare, but also Trump, I guess his administration, they're still in line to remove some of the food benefits or social benefits as of April 1st. And this is the worst time for it to happen.
Well,
I think the one good thing that he did say, they did say to landlords to please not evict people. That was one of the things I heard.
You can ask them, but the landlords, haven't been known to have a heart.
Well, the thing of it is, I know they're ruthless, especially the ones here. They're renting a little old shack, 1 bedroom for $1,000. In Orange County, you were able to get a 2-bedroom nice condo.
So, Mikki, you're a writer. You talk about parenting. What would you say to people parents of small children who are terrified. I mean, what do they do? Like, how do we protect our families? How do we protect our children? And then if there isn't a national emergency, and if things go really south, what should we do?
Well, I'm sure you don't want to scare your children that they'll be terrified to walk out the house. But you do want to keep them close, and you don't want to tell them about hand. You can wash them, teach them how to wash their hand. Actually observe them and see that they're doing it right. And they may not have friends for a while that they can run over there and play at their house, or a slumber party even. There's going to be some changes. And what happens is the money that we have to spend to try to keep this in check, their generation is going to be paying for it for a long time, I suspect.
Right.
All
That's
the
a good
money
point.
that's being
That's
spent
true.
to try to get a handle on this, somebody's going to pay for this down the line.
Kind of like us. They left us with that big boat, right?
Yeah, we had our
Vietnam.
turn. Every generation have their
Right.
turn to
Replenish.
take the burden of the generation before, whatever they had to do to survive.
You would think with all this great tools and skills that we have that we could stay ahead of the game. I mean, after all, we have wonderful, if they start matching science with the laws and do the right thing, I think our whole society would change completely, and it would be more, how do I want to say, was it more homogeneous? Is that how you say it?
Homogeneous, the way things would operate.
Yes.
Well, I had the biggest shock of my life to find out. That's because I look at all those TV shows like Criminal Minds and Law and Order. I didn't know that our 911 system cannot track your cell phone. They cannot tell where. They can tell what's that beam that comes off the beam. They can tell what's bouncing off of, but they can't tell you what house you're in. And I didn't know that. You look at the TV, they go right and find you right in an
Well, it's based
apartment
on
building
GPS.
with a
So instead of like your old-time phone where it was hardwired right into this address, it's based on your location. If you turn off your GPS, you probably will turn off your location. But yeah, I mean, it bounces off all these cell towers.
Well, it's hard because at one point they said for the ladies to turn off the GPS because there were people stalking a lot of women.
What I was
like
told,
that.
the equipment is antiquated, and so that's why they can't really do it. And I didn't even know that
Whose
was
equipment? The
the police.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sorry, the telephone department. The 911 operators. I was
Is that
shocked.
part of
If
ATC?
you look it up, you'll see that they're not able to find you as easy as you think you were. You are. And then how they can't find you with the GPS when you're away from towers and you're really lost
Right.
in the forest for sure. Can they do GPS
Yeah,
with that?
if you don't have the right service, how are they going to find you,
That's
right?
right. So
So-
that was a bummer because, like I say, on TV, they find you no matter where you are.
Do you guys think that this coronavirus pandemic is going to impact different communities here in Fresno differently? For example, north of Shaw, the people who live up in the District 1 or 2, way up there, or I mean District 2 up there, are they going to experience a different coronavirus response than the people living in downtown or in Tower or in poverty?
Yes.
How is it going to be different?
Well,
What about for the black community? You think it'll be different here in Fresno?
if you don't have insurance, I don't know what situation you're in. They're trying to say you will get tested if you come in with the symptoms. But they prefer you call. Don't go to the emergency room and say, oh, I'm sick. Call them and they will meet you out in the parking lot and determine if you are or not.
But
yes,
it's the same symptoms of a flu. That's the thing. It looks like a
a
flu
flu.
until it kills you.
Well, you have a fever, and I don't know the symptoms, but I know somebody on one of the coaches on one of the athletic shows. He looked like he might have had it.
Right, but it was just the flu he had.
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
Why
it
don't
got
we just-
ruled
But that's
out.
still dangerous. The
Yeah.
flu's still dangerous.
Why don't we just take 2 seconds? We have a little video there for everyone to see from UNICEF, and they give you a simple method that you can use in the home
Right.
to help kill if you feel like you've been
Exposed.
to someone. Why don't we take a look at that video for a minute?
fun. West Fresno Democratic Club has been in the parade for the last 6 years. And if you get to Chinatown, you probably can still buy shirts, take some cash, and remember, it's the Year of the Rat.
It's the Year of the Rat. What does the Year of the Rat mean?
I didn't bring that poster.
Do you guys know?
No, I know they have a different year. I remember the Year of the Horse. I mean, it just
all I know
changes.
about the Year of the Rat is that you get some cheese. Because at the festival or they were passing out cheese. Did you get one?
No, I didn't get any cheese.
But it wasn't real cheese. It was the kind of cheese where you can squeeze and you can help you. I got one of those. It was good.
No, I didn't see that. But the parade is always good with the dragon and all of that.
Oh, it was so nice.
They didn't have They didn't have vendors like they usually have. Food vendors. They had informational booths, but I seen one or two that give you maybe a salad or a fruit cup.
How many people attended? Does anybody know?
I don't know the official count, but it was nice.
It was a nice parade.
It didn't seem empty. But you know what? I asked the guy who made that shirt,
Uh-huh.
they were the Japanese American Association, some group, I forget the exact name.
The Wong family.
Okay, the Wong family?
Yes.
I was talking to the guy running it, and I asked him, hey, do you believe or do you feel that the coronavirus, the Wuhan virus, actually affected the turnout of this Chinatown parade? And he, without even a second, he goes, absolutely.
Yes.
He really believed that it affected. He goes, we would have had a bigger turnout.
Yes, yes. Well, the other thing is that they don't advertise. It's a word of mouth. I mean, I know when it's coming, but I think the average person
It
don't.
was nice.
Right.
It was. They literally went to each business with the dragon, and they blessed each business.
Well, that was nice.
It was nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they really need a lot of blessing, and we hope that
Chinatown, they need to
the city council
participate.
wakes up. I mean, that is every city, large city in the country has a Chinatown, and they honor the existence of that Chinatown, and they don't try to cut out the people not having a Chinatown, and we need our Chinatown revised.
Well, one of the things that's unique,
renovated.
I think, about this Chinatown is that, like our, what was her name, who talked last time in our last show? She came.
Kathy.
Thank you. Kathy told us, and she has this memorized. She says Chinatown is a home for Mexicans. I mean, she has like a list of different people.
It was always where we all went to shop.
So it wasn't just China people.
No, because it was discrimination. You have to understand, before that Chinatown, there were two Chinatown is where all the other people,
immigrants,
other than white, would go
in Fresno.
Would go shopping and had their businesses and whatnot. But every town was like that.
And you know, you always
different.
start with one part of town.
Right.
So between Chinatown and downtown, that's Fresno.
That was.
Yeah.
But it's not like that
And
anymore.
the Golden West Side and all of that.
See, what I'm thinking, Chinatown.
Well, I think it's disgraceful what they've done because it was a very vibrant city.
Right.
It's
They
disgraceful.
ignored it. Yes.
Well,
the city of
Chinatown.
Fresno.
Of course, there was all these China racism going on, or Chinese racism.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
Chinese Exclusion Act
Yes.
earlier in the century.
They had them up there logging, creating those flumes. That's why they brought them into the town.
But what's cool about here is that you're
Necessary.
saying that all the places that Fresno didn't want in the main, they just threw them in China, or you go to Chinatown? or
No,
is that
that's
what
how discrimination worked. You go on that side of the tracks.
even
Well,
if you
you
weren't
know about
Chinese,
redlining.
Armenians, all of them.
Yeah, you know about redlining.
What do you mean?
Right. We already talked about that. But the thing
Okay.
is all I want to say, they destroyed Armenia Town. You know, downtown San Diego has Armenia Town. It's Little Italy, the Mexican areas.
Yes.
Now they want to call it Latino. It's all very vibrant, and they destroyed all of that here.
So they closed Tulare
Literally.
Street. They closed it. So the only way to get to Chinatown from North Fresno is you have to go through Ventura.
Yes.
Okay, or Fresno
Fresno
Street.
Street,
Now,
yes.
and Kathy told us last week, and when we interviewed
Omachi.
her, that they're gonna close down.
Tulare.
No, they already closed Tulare.
Oh.
They're gonna close Ventura.
Right.
You can't close
She says they're gonna close
Ventura.
Ventura.
Ventura gets you to the freeway.
So she says they're gonna close Ventura, and so because of the high-speed
You
rail.
didn't listen to me.
And so they're closing Ventura. And so the only way to get to, you're going to be able to get to Chinatown is through Fresno Street. And is that going to be good for business?
No. You're going to have a backlog.
Well, the thing is there's only 10 businesses left now. The Fortune Cookie Company got it. I mean,
Chef Paul. But the redlining redlining was they put you in a certain neighborhood because they wouldn't, the banks wouldn't.
Yeah, we discussed that in January about that before the election.
Do you think Chinatown's going to survive all this?
Well, I really am angry.
Money.
I am angry because they've had 3 federal grants to revitalize that area, and we're going to have a special on that later on. We're going to interview Kathy, and I have a few other people that had businesses in that area to talk about that.
I thought the money was already done.
Yes, it's already been. Again, this is the 3rd time. 2 years ago, but nothing is being done. I mean, you got it wide open. You can have a nice big college over there, a satellite office. There's a lot of land. So I don't understand what's going on here. But we're going to have to go. I'm sorry right now. We're going to have to.
Well, let me talk about my book for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
You can find me at the first Thursdays. I'm going to be either Fulton Mall for selling my book, $13, or you're going to find me at the Tower Blends, which is on Olive in the Tower District, right down from the Tower Theater.
What day?
The first Thursday of the month, Art Hop.
Okay.
Art Hop, that's one place, and then you look on my Facebook for the rest of it. And if you see me, I have my book at all times. And you can always go to Barnes & Noble, and I am in the Fresno County Library.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, that is not an easy task.
So when's the next book?
I'm going to write a kitty book, the next one. Cool. I think it'd be easier than this one.
Thank you, and
well,
honor to you, International Women's Day.
I'm the magical woman. I'm a magical woman.
Black magical woman.
Black magical woman. Look for me on my Facebook.